right, so today we're gonna do brown sugar cinnamon muffins. And the first thing we need to make is the topping. So for the topping, we're gonna need 2 tablespoons of flour. So I'm gonna need a straight edge spatula to level off my flour once I measure it. And if you can't find a straight edge spatula, you can just use the back side of a knife. And here's our flour, because our other flour wasn't good, so look for it in the bag tomorrow. If we have time at the end of class, we actually might go ahead and make this today to save time tomorrow. So there's 1 tablespoon. And then I'm also gonna need 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Now with brown sugar, remember we're going to pack it so that it comes out like a sandcastle kind of molded into the shape of our tool. So I usually just kind of push the brown sugar against the side of the container. So there's 1, 2. Now, have any of you guys baked at home and your brown sugar has gotten all dried out and too hard to use? Yeah. What's your solution for that? Microwave freezer. One thing you can do is put a marshmallow or a piece of soft bread and just keep it in here. That'll keep your brown sugar moist so it doesn't dry out and turn into like clumps on you. Okay, so just a fun tip. 1/8 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm actually gonna take my 4th and fill it up halfway. Okay, there we go. And I'm gonna stir this together. So this is the part you guys might be doing today, okay? Now I'm gonna take my it's only 1 tablespoon of margarine. I'm gonna take 1 tablespoon of margarine, which has a little, I feel like Ravioli, you're about to kiss him. You're puckering up at him. Like seriously, what is he doing, Brock?
He's into just a little bit.
We need to just relax, okay? No making out in class. It's weird. So 1 tablespoon of margarine. And I'm gonna need my pastry blender, which I don't see. So could somebody please find me a pastry blender quickly? Okay, so I'm also, while I wait for the pastry blender, going to preheat my oven to 400 degrees. So bake 400. Please don't forget to push start. I know you guys are pretty smart. However, sometimes people forget to preheat the oven and then it takes even longer. Well, I'm doing it a little bit different than Alton. So, but thank you. That was a great tip. So that's preheated. Now I'm gonna use this pastry blender and I'm gonna cut the fat into my flour mixture. Now what I want this to resemble is like pea gravel. And this is what we're gonna sprinkle on the top of our muffin batter. So it has kind of that crumbly texture on the top. It is sticky, isn't it? All right, that'll work. If it gets caught in these wires, which I'm sure it will, just kind of try to pat it out the best you can. Excellent. Next step. This is called a 12-cup muffin pan. Do you each have a muffin pan at home?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are insulated. They're pretty nice. We are not going to line them with paper liners because that's more of a cupcake thing. But instead, we need to make sure to grease these so that our cupcakes, muffins, will pop right out of our nonstick pans because they sometimes still stick even though it's called nonstick. So what I'm going to use is our shortening. This is just like solid fat. I'm going to set this aside. And I'm going to take, a baggie and I'm going to grab some. I know, I bet you're all hoping you get to be this person. And you're gonna wipe the sides of each of these muffin cups. It's actually more satisfying than you think. So we're greasing our muffin cups. If you don't want to do this procedure at your house when you're making muffins, you could probably spray it, but I feel like this kind of gives the edges more of like a crisp, delicious butteriness, I guess. All right. Now, the great thing about greasing your muffin cups like this is you can just throw it away. Next step is to, in a large bowl, this is going to be my large bowl. Can you guys all see this in the mirror?
Yeah.
I know you people can't, but I'm going to mix together 1 3/4 cups of flour. So can I get a volunteer? Come on up here.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Josie, for 1 3/4 cups of flour, I know that I need 1 cup. What else do I need? I don't have a 3/4.
You have a 1/4?
Wow, I'm really short. How about a half and a, what makes 75 cents? 75 cents is about 3/4 of a dollar. Okay. This is getting tricky. So 3/4 cup is actually a half of a cup plus a 1/4 cup. So 1/4 is a 1/4 cup. So this, and this is what I'm gonna need for the flour. Go ahead whenever you're ready, right here. Well, she measures that. Could I get another volunteer? Yes, you, Camden, right? Who's this? So, Camden, I'm gonna need 1/3 of a cup of sugar. And my white sugar is, where's my sugar? Oh, it's right there. Can you please measure that? And we're gonna put all of this in here.
You're amazing, Lucy.
Making a mess.
I'm gonna need another volunteer, Wyatt. I'm gonna need 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So, Josie, can you tell me what the flour is going to do for our muffins? Oops, the base, the structure.
Same thing.
We don't mean to do this.
Camden, what is the, whoa, that's not filled up to the top. I know it's chunky, but. So Camden, what is the sugar gonna do for our muffins? It's gonna give it flavor, and it's also gonna help with the.
Let's just go on the bowl.
Does sugar caramelize when it gets hot? Yeah, so it's gonna help with GBD. What's GBD? Golden brown, delicious. Wyatt, can you please tell me what the baking powder is gonna do in our recipe? It's gonna help rise. Some people call these types of things, it starts with an L. Leaveners. Now, is this a chemical or biological leavener? Chemical. You're struggling right now.
God, dude. Keep losing it.
Okay, go ahead and pour that in, honey.
Lost it. Not good enough.
Good job.
Two
Yeah.
teaspoons.
Now the last thing I need to add to my dry ingredients is some salt, and I'm just gonna do 1/4 teaspoon of salt by myself. What's the salt gonna do? Just kind of help balance out the flavors, okay? You're doing great, Josie.
Okay, I think that's mine.
All right, so boys and girls, I'm stirring these ingredients together. Now, what I'm going to do is make my wet ingredients, And I'm gonna need to whisk egg, milk, and oil until well mixed. So, how should I crack my egg?
On the counter.
Good job. And who can raise their hand and enlighten me as to why?
Because you don't want bacteria or eggshells going.
I don't. I really don't. So 1 egg. And what is the egg gonna do for my muffins? It's gonna help make them more tender. It's gonna help a little bit with the leavening process, and it's gonna make them rich. Now, does that mean they're gonna have a lot of money?
No.
No, they're just gonna taste a little bit better. So an egg, milk. Who can come up and show me how to measure 3/4 cup of milk? I saw you first. Get a liquid measuring cup out of a kitchen, while somebody else can help me measure the vegetable oil. Come on up.
How much is Katie doing?
Katie, you are doing 3/4 cup of this milk. And then, yes, you, Nick, are gonna show me how to do 1/4 of a cup of vegetable oil. Nice squash.
Wow.
It's really spread over here.
Oh my gosh, I used Miss Boyd.
I can't do this because it's backwards. Stop laughing long enough to do this.
What's up?
That's not Katie, I love
Approximately no.
Let's just go ahead and go right to this. It's half of a half, okay? So, Nick, would you add your ingredients to this egg? And then, Katie, would you add your milk to the egg? Great work. Thank you. You can just set it right here. So it says to whisk it, so that I've got my wire whisk, and I just kind of want to make sure this is all blended together. So basically, this is my fat ingredient, right? This has my oil in it. How is this similar to making biscuits? Do you guys remember when we did Cheddar Bay biscuits? How is this similar to that?
You have to mix the wet ingredients first, and then you have to mix the wet ingredients and the dry ingredients separately.
The wet ingredients are mixed separately than the dry, yes.
I thought you just add your sugar to your wet ingredients.
Yeah, I'm not doing Alton's recipe. This one's a little different. Okay, how else is this similar to our biscuit recipe? What? I had to cut the fat into the flour correctly, but that was for our streusel topping. The difference, this is important, guys, and I'm only going to say it once. The difference between the biscuit method and the muffin method is that my fat ingredients, instead of using my pastry blender to cut my fat into my dry ingredients right here, they're melted, they're liquid, okay? So I'm gonna stir my melted liquid ingredients into my dry mixture. Now, what would Alton tell us right now?
Don't overmix it.
Oh my gosh, why?
Because it'll tunnel. It'll tunnel in the oven.
It'll tunnel, and somebody, if I took these to the fair, would say, oh, I see tunneling. You must have overmixed it. So you stir this just until everything has been moistened.
4, 5, 6, 7.
There's like a chunk of sugar. Hold on. Mine seems really dry. Did you do 3/4 cup of milk? You did 1/4 of a cup of milk, didn't you?
You told me to put it at that line.
Well, you asked where 1/4 of a cup was. Okay. So let's do another 1/2 cup.
It didn't look enough to me.
Yeah, I was gonna say this seems a little bit dry. So what's 1/2 cup plus 1/4 of a cup? 3/4. I tell ya, I'm glad we can fix this. Now we'll mix it. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Are we gonna be able to
I feel like this is gonna be be trashed.
I think it's a risk.
No, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. We were both thinking a fourth of a cup, I think. Because because Nick needed to do a fourth of a cup. That's what happened. Well, I might be posting the next class's video. All right. We are going to spoon this mixture into each of our muffin cups. So I've got 7. So I didn't have enough. I'm gonna make sure they're all uniform so they cook evenly. I don't know, guys. I feel like I'm striking
I'll
out.
still eat them. I'll still eat them.
It's fine. It's fine.
As long as they're cooked properly.
Well, maybe I can get one more. Let's shoot for 8. Take a little bit out. This is not how you make muffins, by the way.
Are we supposed to use an ice cream scooper?
Okay, so tomorrow.
Let's go for 9.
Tomorrow
What?
we're not letting Katie measure anything.
I don't think anybody will forget how much milk to add tomorrow.
How much you
It's
asked?
3/4.
3/4. Yeah.
3/4 cup. Now, this is the fun part. Now that you got your batter in here, the final step is to take about a tablespoon or so of this butter and cinnamon brown sugar streusel we made at the beginning and sprinkle it over the top.
I thought you were supposed to do it after.
How would the butter melt?
I don't know. It's bite into it.
This is a lot like the topping on like apple crisp. So my oven is at what temp? 400. And I'm going to bake this for 20 minutes. When they come out, you'll make sure they're done with a toothpick and you will have muffins. Now, because this has taken so long, what does that tell you about tomorrow?
It's gonna take